Have you recently purchased a new or used vehicle, or perhaps you're researching for a new or used vehicle, but you're wondering how to set up and use all the technology that we find in a driver's information system and the infotainment screen? If so, you're at the right place. Hi folks, I'm Nathan with Two Guys in a Ride, and today I'm going to show you how to do just that. But before I do, take a moment to give us a like and hit that subscribe button down below. Let's get started.
Today we're working with our friends at Morrie's Mazda in Minnetonka, Minnesota.
Welcome to our how-to video on the 2021 Mazda CX30. This is the 2.5 liter turbo with all-wheel drive, and it is the Premium Plus package. So on the dashboard itself, you have, of course, on the left have a tach, which is physical. On the far right, you have an analog engine temperature gauge and fuel gauge, along with some dummy lights. In the middle is all digital, of course, except for the silver ring that houses the speedometer. Over on the far left, you have your miles per gallon, and so what you're going to see is when you're driving is instant miles per gallon, but the orange arrow is your average. Over on the far right of the speedometer, you have got, of course, miles till empty, and then you have got your outside temperature display. So let me get back to the speedometer. You can see it there. All right, so that's all digital, and that's the information that you can control via the steering wheel controls. So on the steering wheel controls, you have an info button that's right here, and the only way you can change the information from the steering wheel is by clicking this button. So if I click it once, I get basic driving information like average miles per gallon. If I press and hold this, I can reset the average from here. I also get a little compass that shows up above average, and then an actual letter that tells me what direction I'm traveling. If I press it again, I get my safety system. So I have my lane keeping assist, my lane departure assist. If I turn cruise control on, then that's over on the right side of the steering wheel. If I turn that on, you're going to see a little symbol appear at the bottom. And then, of course, these right up here are your gap setters. So I can increase my gap by pushing up. I can decrease my gap by pulling down. All right. And then over here is where I can turn on or off the lane departure and lane assist right there. This button here is a dummy button. There is nothing right there to control. But that is the driver's information screen. If I press it one more time, I am back to having my digital speedometer, and then some other things show up, some icons show up at the bottom. If you are in another screen, though, like say you're in this screen, you notice your miles per hour becomes digital, and that stuff is always right there. Hey, this does have a HUD display, and we'll show you that in a little bit when we cover the infotainment screen, because that is where you control it from. Okay, that's it for the driver's information screen. We're going to now move over to the infotainment screen. All right, so on the infotainment screen, it's not a touch screen. It is an 8.8-inch screen. It has Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. Both are wired. There's, of course, AM and FM radio, Sirius Xm, and Bluetooth. It also has built-in navigation, and the sound system is a 12-speaker Bose audio system. All right, to control this, then we use this rotary button down here in the center console, and we've got a couple of shortcuts. We have got media, home, back, and then navigation. And those are just shortcuts, takes you straight to those areas. And then this not only rotates, but pushes and then toggles left to right. All right. So the only other thing down here that has to do with the infotainment screen is here, and this is a rotary volume, and then a quick push to mute and a longer push to turn off. Okay, and then you can push it to the right or to the left to change channels. Okay, down here is a favorite button, and that can be used for any favorites, and I'll show you how to do that. But basically, what you do is you highlight something, and then you just push and hold this. So we press the home button, and we come to this screen here, and you get these 5 choices. So we're going to start at information. I'm going to push this button to access it. And then you've got 3 things. So we're going to go to fuel efficiency monitor just by pushing. And then here you go. So you've got a graph that shows up here for the current drive, and then history. Okay, and then over here, current drive shows up in a little bit more larger window. All right, if I press the menu button again right here, I can go into the fuel efficiency monitor settings, and then I can link the average fuel efficiency reset with a trip A, not trip B, but a trip A reset. So when I hit the reset button, it'll reset the average, or I can uncheck that by pushing the button. I can also click here and reset the fuel efficiency data if I want. Now, to go back, the easiest thing to do is just press the back button here. So I'll do that, and we'll go back again, and we'll go back one more. And then you have the Sirius Xm travel link. If you've never had this before, this is kind of neat. So for instance, you can look at weather radar, and there you go. If I hit the back button here, fuel prices. Right? And then of course you can just scroll to any of these, and you can click on here, and then it will go into your navigation. And you go navigate there. I'm not going to do that. It even gives you a phone number. Click the back button, click it again. I should mention on the weather radar, you can zoom in. And if you want to change the location of that little red arrow, just move this thing to the right or the left, or up or down. Okay? Which is kind of a nice feature. So you can zoom in right where you are, or look kind of globally. Hit the back button, hit it again. Vehicle status monitor. So I'm just rotating that dial now. I'm going to push on it again. Okay. You can get some vehicle warning messages. You can't highlight it. They just pop up automatically. Tells you when your next service is. If I go down to maintenance details, there's a little arrow to the right. So there's some more things available. I'm going to click this. And then distance until oil's changed is right there. And then you also get tire pressure. Hit the back arrow. Go to vehicle maintenance settings, click it again. All right, next service date, and I can reset the oil change distance. Now, if I don't leave, I'm not going to touch it, but if you click down there, you could take off the automatic and select some other options. And then you would get the set next service date and set next service distance. Those would light up in white instead of being grayed out. All right. Hit the back arrow again, hit the back arrow again, and hit the back arrow again. That's information. Now, entertainment, if I go rotate down, push on this button. All right, so here we get FM radio. All right, and you know the title comes up. You get a nice little graphic of the album there. But if you want to do anything else, if you want to change the station or do anything, my suggestion is you do it from the steering wheel, because you have the controls over there, which I showed you earlier. But you can click, and then you can change those. They seem to be a bit slow on changing, but that could just be where we are, I guess. All right, now if I want to do anything else with the F, if I want to manage it from here, I have to push this rotary button, and now I can go down to, say, tuner controls. And now I would use my rotary knob again to rotate down to go backwards. See, now I'm going backwards. I'm seeking backwards, and then if I go here and press, I'm seeking forwards. What's kind of interesting is this control doesn't just show up naturally in the radio screen already, but it's definitely there. You just have to go and find it. You can look at station list. You can look at favorites. So talking about that favorite button we were looking at earlier, right now there are no favorites. So what I'm going to do to set that up right here is I'm going to go to a station list, and I'm just going to go down here. I don't know what I'm clicking on. I'm just going to go there, KQRS. All right, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to press and hold the favorites button. Now it's saved it to favorites. All right, I'm going to hit the back button, hit the back button again. I'm going to still click on entertainment. So now I'm going to click on the menu button again. Okay, you have manual tuning. You can adjust the radio text here if there is any. Okay, I'm going to hit the back button. You can go to FM settings, and you can also go to audio settings. Now this, of course, is where you adjust your bass and your treble, the listening position, which is all seats or driver seats, and you would just click this to select it. Okay, I'm going to hit the back button again. You've got your fader here, you've got balance, you've got Bose stereo mode, Bose center point, and Bose audio pilot. All right, so those are all part of the Bose system. I'm going to hit the back button here, and I'm going to hit it one more time. And I'm going to go, this time I'm going to press menu, and I'm going to go to the source list because I want to show you Sirius Xm as well. So if I click on here, it's going to be the same setup. So you get the same kind of screen, and if you want to change anything without using the steering wheel controls, which is why I suggest you use those steering wheel controls, because they're a little bit easier and quicker to access than this is. If I push that, I can go down to tuner controls, click it again, and now I can scroll through the stations up here. If I move down one, I can scroll backwards. Okay, and then if I go down here, then I can restart something over. Okay, and then you can click on there, you can click on pause or play. I'm gonna, if I click the rotary knob backwards, it's the same as hitting the back button, which is nice. You can have content alerts, you can save artists and song, you can look at Sirius Xm settings, and then again you have the audio settings. So I'm going to click backwards. I'm going to click backwards again. Oh, now I got to push the menu button, the back button here. Okay, so that's Sirius Xm and FM AM works the same. And then you would just use that source button to access Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. All right, so under communication, if I click on here, this is where you can connect Bluetooth device. So I'm going to go ahead. I got my phone on. I'm going to hit connect. Yep, Bluetooth is running on my phone, so I'm going to hit continue. And of course, I want, oh, there it found it. So I want Nathan's phone. And then it asked me, is this the same pair number on my phone? I'm going to hit pair, and that's connecting to my phone. And then it says, do you want to allow contacts and favorites for sync? I'm going to click don't allow. But if this is your car, you're going to want to click allow because that's all your phone numbers and addresses. Okay, I'm also just going to click cancel on that one. That's emergency assist. But you would probably want to say yes to that. All right, so now I'm going to go back to media for a minute. And I'm going to press on this button. And I'm going to go to the source list, and now my phone should show up. So, Bluetooth, Nathan's phone. So if I click on there, now I've got a couple different things, and I can click on the menu button, and again, source list, playback controls, Bluetooth settings, and audio settings are the things that I can control. So I hit playback settings, and I can, of course, skip a song and go to the next one here. All right, so I've also got repeat, and I've got continued play, and then I've got play and pause here. So let's go back here, and now I'm just going to keep going back here. There we go. Back to communication for a minute. Now I'm going to press the rotary knob again. All right. So, communication. I can store favorites. Now, if I had my address book in here, I could scroll through, highlight an address or a phone number, and I could hit the start button down here, and it would memorize it and show up as one of my favorites. Okay? You can look at contacts. You can even look at text messages, call history. I've had those things disabled right now so they don't show up. And that's it for communication. So I'm going to click the home button. And we're going to go down to navigation. Now, this has built-in maps. Now, because it has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, you can certainly use any navigation app or almost any navigation app from your phone. All right, to access the menu, you would press the rotary knob again, and then you can add a destination, cancel a route options, split screen, map view, and so on. So I'm going to quickly add a destination. And I'm going to go just to POI categories, look for a gas station, and then we'll just click that one. And it says navigate here, add to favorites. So I'm gonna go ahead and add that to favorites so we can see it a little bit later. Okay, I'm gonna say navigate here. And then I'll have to say start guidance. If I don't, it'll start it automatically for me in 3, 2, 1. There it goes. To end the course, press the menu button and hit cancel route. Now, if you want to see route options, you click down one more, press on the rotary button, and then you can look at alternative routes, route settings, edit route, avoidances, and itinerary. All right, hit the back button again. Map view. Right now it's set to 3D. If I click here, I've got some other choices. I can have 2D north up, or I can have just 2D. And to select any one of those, you just click on them and then press the rotary button. Okay, I happen to really like that 3D view, so I'm going to go back to that and click on it. All right, you can look at travel information. You can go straight to Sirius Xm travel link here to look at weather, sports scores, that kind of stuff. Help nearby, where am I? Okay, or about. If you click about, it just gives you generic information on the software. Okay, I'm gonna hit back again, and I'm gonna go down to navigation settings here. So if I go to navigation settings, I can have this as a split screen, and I can have a route monitor or entertainment. So I'm gonna hit on entertainment. Okay, I can go down to map settings, and here I can do look at place markers, 3D buildings for that, or landmarks only, or buildings only, or none. Okay, I'm gonna go backwards just by jerking to the left here with the rotary knob. I can look at the viewpoint. I can change the map view, which I already did. Street names, you can have them as normal or big, which is nice. Daytime color themes, nighttime color themes. So that's all your map settings. So I'm just going to toggle to the left again. You can have guidance settings, route settings, traffic settings, and then they threw in Sirius Xm data settings as well. But you do it the same way. You click on it, and then you just look at the screen and rotate the dial. And when you want something, you push on it. Okay, I'm going to hit the back button here. All right, you can also just go down here in navigation and mute the guidance, which is nice. So you don't have the voice, especially if it's someplace you're pretty familiar with, but you just want a little bit of direction. That's a nice feature. Now, if I just press on the navigation button again, okay, you notice now that I got a split screen, so I got my navigation and my entertainment showing over on the right. Okay? Now, let's go back to home for a minute. And let's go to the last one, which is settings. So under settings is where you can change a lot of things. For instance, this is the in-vehicle displays. All right, so if I press on this, I can have an active driving display, and that is our heads up. That shows up on the windshield. So as I adjust it, I just click on it. Now I can adjust the height. Okay, if I scroll, I click it again to deactivate it, scroll down to brightness. I can change the brightness, and then you got to click on it again to get to the next one. Tilt adjustment. This is really handy. This may seem like a quirky thing to add, but everyone sits differently in their seats, so it's really nice to be able to adjust that so it looks straight to you. Again, you got to click on the rotary button so that you can scroll to the next item. You can have active display, driving display content on. You can do navigation guidance on. You can have street names, lane guidance, traffic sign recognition, and then restore to factory settings. So if I uncheck one of those, then when I'm driving, the lane guidance just doesn't show up. Press it again, and it's activated. All right, so that is the HUD, or heads-up display control right there. Okay, I'm going to hit the back button here. So that was the active driving display, better known as a HUD display. The center display, that's the one that we're looking at right up here, the infotainment screen. If I click on that, then I can turn the display off. Now, if I do that, it's still functioning. You know, the audio would still play, your navigation would still come through. You just don't have that bright screen on at night. Okay? So as soon as I turn the volume, you can see it kind of light up and it shows it. So it shows that it's active. Okay, in order to get it back on again, I just click the rotary knob and it comes back on. You can set your day-night mode here from automatic to day or night, and that just brightens or dims your screen for you. I'm gonna hit the back button. You can adjust the brightness, the contrast. You can show drive results at ignition off. Home screen clock can be digital or analog. Right? Then, if I go back again, that'll be on the home screen. So right now we're not on the home screen. So if I went to home screen, now you see the analog clock. Okay, I'm gonna go back down to settings and push. Okay, so we're on in-vehicle displays, and you can go to the instrument cluster display. So if I click on here, I can do the fuel efficiency and range display. So I can have type 1, which looks like that, or I can have type 2 that looks like that. So one's just a bigger set of graphics, or you can have that off altogether. I kind of like type 1 the best. Okay, now this time it's hitting the back button. I'm just going to push to the left, and I'm going to push to, you can restore factory settings here if you mess up completely. I'm going to go back again. All right, I'm going to go back one more time. Okay, now sound settings. We've already been here before, but this is another way to get it. You have audio settings. And see, this is where we've been before. Okay, so I'll get back out of that. You can go down here to vehicle notification and warning volumes. And you can have those as moderate, high, or low. The car beeps at you doing different things, and this is kind of where you adjust the overall volume of that, if it's too loud or too soft for you. You hit the back button again. Safety settings. All right, so a lot of your safety systems here. So driver assist system. So Mazda radar cruise control. This does have stop and go dynamic cruise control on it. So you can enable that or not enable that, just by clicking. You can audible cruise confirmation. So if you want to hear it tell you confirmation, you can do it. Speed limit sign alert. You can have that on or off. If you do that, if you turn it on, you can say, let's say it's just visual. Okay, as you go a little bit over the speed limit, it turns orange. If you go too much over, it turns red. Okay, and then I'm gonna go backwards here a bit. Now you can set the speed limit sign threshold. So you can say, well, if the speed limit says 50, let me go 53 before you bark at me, or 55. Okay, so it allows you to set some tolerance levels. I'm gonna go backwards here. Driver attention alert. Okay, I can have that on or off. That's a good thing to have on. It just kind of keeps track of you. If it feels like your hands aren't on the steering wheel enough, maybe you need to take a break, it will suggest that to you. And then again, you can restore factory settings if you want. I'm gonna go back and hit the back button here. Safety alerts. Rear cross traffic alert. Okay, on or off just by push of this button. Lane departure warning, same thing. You can set the alert type. You can have a vibrating steering wheel, an audible warning, or audible and steering wheel vibration. So lots of choices there. I'm gonna hit the back button. Blind spot monitoring. Again, same type of thing. Click on it. You can change what kind of warning it gives you. Alert timing. When does it warn you? Well, early, normal, or late. Take your pick. And then just push the rotary button to select it. And then you can restore factory settings. I'm gonna go backwards again just by toggling to the left again. Active safety. All right, lane keep assist system. That's either on or off, and then you can restore factory settings. And again, you just push this to turn it off, push it again to turn it on. Hit the back button here. I like it that there's two ways to go backwards. That's nice. Collision avoidance. Okay, smart brake support. So if it detects you're not braking, it will start to automatically brake to either help you lessen the damage or hopefully avoid it. But it's expecting you. It's not autonomous driving. It's expecting you to brake. It'll also assist the braking, so it'll help the car brake as fast as it can if you push on that brake. And again, you can set that alert timing to normal, early, or late. And then smart brake support in the rear, so it's front and rear, or restore factory settings. I'm gonna go backwards again. The view monitor. So display priority view at startup. Okay, You can have that there so that automatically comes on. Priority view, is it the front? Is it the side? Or is it front wide or whatever you did last? Okay, so we're going to just leave it on the side so it shows the side things. And that'll be nice because it'll show up right up in your infotainment screen as soon as you start. Automatic front view display is checked on or off. Okay, and dynamic guidelines on or off, and restore factory settings. We'll go back again. Parking sensors here, of course, you can display them. You can have, so it'll show up and tell you where things are if it's beeping at you, what side of the car it's on. You can set the volumes for front and rear sensors and restore to factory settings. We're going to go back again. Pedal misuse alert. Now, not actually sure what that is, but you can have that on or off. If you know what that is, let us know in the comments. All right, we're going to go back again. Vehicle settings. We'll click here. Okay, this is where you can, I'm not going to go through all of these. I'm going to just show you one of them, but this is where you can set your door locks. Like, when do they lock? Do they lock when you put it in drive? When you do they unlock when you put it in park? Do they lock when you get up to 5 miles an hour? And so on. Exterior lighting. Interior lighting, and there's a little definition that shows up over here that kind of tells you what it does. Rain sensing windshield wipers, that's either on or off. Right now it's off, right now it's on. Turn signals, okay. Let's see, rear window defrogger, link seat and climate control temperatures. Right, so if you turn the temperature to hot, it's going to turn on your heated seats. And fuel door lock delay. So lots of different things here. We're going to go backwards. Connectivity settings right here. We've already seen this screen here, but you can set these up. We've also got, you can configure Wi-Fi connectivity here if you want. We're going to go backwards, and finally we get to system settings. So if I get here, this is where you can do things like your clock and then your units. So for instance, if you want kilometers per hour, you go to distance and speed, click, and change it to kilometers per hour. And your speedometer changes completely to kilometers per hour. Now it reads up to 260 kilometers per hour, whereas in miles per hour, it only reads 160. All right, we'll go back. But this is again where you change the centigrade to Fahrenheit, and you can change your tire pressure here. Lots of choices for tire pressure. Go back again. Grace Note database, that has to do with the album art that displays on the screen when music is playing. Okay, you can look at the software update here, and you can go all the way down here to restore all factory settings. Okay, I'm going to go down back to home here. Okay, and that's all the information in the infotainment screen. I did say I would show you that favorite button, so I'm going to click on it one more time. There should be 2 things in there. So I'm going to just go close, and sure, okay, here is the radio station that I set, and here is the holiday gas station that I set. So those are both in there. So it makes it very easy. Now I can just press favorites, go to here, click it, and it's going to show me right where it is, and I can say navigate there. So favorites are kind of nice. All right, so that is it on the infotainment screen and the driver's information screen. I hope this has been helpful. Thanks for watching.